let's talk a little bit about Greg Newsome. Fifth-year option. Most people think it will be picked up. And when his fifth-year option is picked up, he'll be due $4.05 million 2024, $13.38 million 2025. He's been really good. You see the numbers and you see that. What do you think happens with Greg Newsome?
Well, I think the history with Andrew Berry, guys he's drafted, they get to their fifth year, it gets picked up. I mean, Baker Mayfield's fifth-year option was picked up, and then they traded for Deshaun Watson. And I kind of agree with, don't move on until you have somebody better. Now, with that said, I wouldn't be surprised if they felt they could acquire a starting caliber cornerback, a veteran, or even draft one in this draft, that they would trade him, on draft day if they felt like there was an asset available. But if they go through the draft, do not trade him. I think the fifth-year option is due the 1st of May. They may do that ahead of the draft, or they may even wait till after the draft. There is some last year, we all know that Newsome talked about not liking being used in the slot, and he switched agents, hired Drew Rosenhaus, who is known for getting trades with players when they're not happy and using leverage. And that was a year before he was even eligible for an extension. So, I think the big thing there is he didn't want to be penciled as being a slot corner because they only make about half what an outside cornerback makes. And I think that smoothed over with the Browns. But as you point out, he's a deal this year and even next year, even if they don't decide to keep him long term. But I think he's clearly the third corner behind Ward and Emerson. They value corners, and it comes down to how highly do you value Cam Mitchell? Do you think he is as good as Newsome or better than Newsome? Otherwise, you put yourself at a disadvantage, with injuries always occurring at cornerback, if you weaken yourself at the position without an adequate replacement. So, yeah, I agree he's going to have his fifth year picked up, and then that gives him another year to evaluate. I mean, a lot of fans saw him getting torched against the Texans in that final game last year, but it wasn't just him. There was a lot of guys being exposed, and so I think that, yeah, he needs to play better. His stats look pretty good, but I don't know if he is even the top two on the current roster.
Yeah, that's absolutely fair. And the thing that complicates it, Martin Emerson was a third-round pick. There's no fifth-year option, so they come up against each other in a contract year. After Newsome's fifth-year option, it would be time to redo Emerson's contract. So it's a timing issue as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's how everything works. But it just seems like Andrew Berry has really been masterful with the salary cap. And, I think they have more 10 million plus players on this roster. And I just don't know how many more you can handle. But so far he's done a good job of doing it, and they've done a good job of developing them. But it seems like every year they've been drafting a cornerback. I think that could tell what they do in the draft. If they drafted a cornerback with their second or third round pick, I think it could raise some eyebrows, and that could tell you that they may be moving on from Newsome. But as of right now, I think the right move is to, unless you have a replacement or an upgrade, you go with what you have and you find to make it work.